Welcome to Math Mastery. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of multiplication tables, which is a fundamental skill for all young learners. Whether you're in grade 3, 4, or 5, mastering your times tables will help you understand math better and boost your confidence when solving problems. Multiplication can be seen as repeated addition, which might sound tricky at first. Don't worry. We'll break it down into easy-to-follow segments and share interesting facts along the way to keep it fun and engaging. So, get ready to unlock the secrets of multiplication. Let's start by discussing what multiplication really means. At its core, multiplication is a way of adding the same number over and over. For example, when we say 4 times 3, or 4 multiplied by 3, we can think of it as adding 4 3 times, 4 plus 4 plus 4. And what does that equal? That's right, it equals 12. Now, let's think of another example. How would you write 5 times 6 using repeated addition? Take a moment to figure it out. You would write it as 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, or simply adding 5 6 times. Understanding this concept is crucial, as it forms the foundation of multiplication. Next, I want to introduce the commutative property of multiplication. This is a neat little property that tells us something very important. The order in which we multiply numbers doesn't change the result. So, whether you say 3 times 4 or 4 times 3, you'll get the same product, which is 12. Isn't that fascinating? This property is super helpful because it gives you the freedom to choose whichever numbers you feel comfortable working with. Now let's talk about the identity property of multiplication. This one states that if you multiply any number by 1, that number doesn't change. For instance, if you multiply 7 by 1, the answer is still 7. This means that 1 is known as the multiplicative identity. It's called this because it keeps the original number the same, just like how the identity of a person remains the same even if they change clothes. So next time you multiply, remember that 1 is your friend in keeping things the same. Something interesting happens when we introduce 0 into multiplication. This is known as the zero property of multiplication. The rule here is simple: any number multiplied by 0 equals 0. For example, if you have 9 eggs in 0 baskets, how many eggs do you have? Yes, you guessed it. You have 0 eggs because 0 means none. This is a very important rule in multiplication, and it helps us understand concepts in math that involve nothingness or absence. Now let's discuss the 5 times table, which has a special pattern. If you look at the products of the 5 times table, you'll notice something. The results always end in either a 0 or a 5. For example, 5 times 1 equals 5, and 5 times 2 equals 10. Can you guess what might break this pattern? Here's a trick question: none of them break this pattern. Every single result from the 5 times table will fit into this rule. Recognizing patterns like this can help with memorizing fun facts in math. Here's a fun and handy trick for the 9 times table that students love. There's a finger trick. When you want to calculate, say, 9 times 4, you can fold down your fourth finger. When you look at your hands, how many fingers are to the left of the folded finger? And how many are to the right? Yes. You will see 3 fingers on the left and 6 fingers on the right. Therefore, 9 times 4 equals 36. This clever little trick makes learning multiplication a lot of fun and helps you to see the answers visually. Another way to visualize multiplication is through arrays. An array is a way of organizing things into rows and columns. It can help you see the multiplication facts more clearly. For example, imagine a chocolate bar with 4 rows and 6 columns. To find out how many small squares you have in total, you just multiply 4 by 6. So, 4 times 6 equals 24. This means there are 24 delicious little squares in your chocolate bar. Arrays are a fantastic tool for not only understanding multiplication but also for learning addition and division. For some students, recalling specific multiplication facts can feel overwhelming, but there are memory tricks that can help. A catchy rhyme people use to remember the product of 7 times 8 goes like this: 5-6-7-8, 56 equals 7 times 8. It's easy and fun to say. Therefore, the product of 7 times 8 is 56. Utilizing rhymes and songs can significantly improve your memorization skills, making math more enjoyable. Now, let's dive into the distributive property. This property helps break down larger multiplication problems into manageable pieces. For instance, if you want to solve 6 times 14, you can think of it as 6 times the sum of 10 and 4. So, you would first calculate 6 times 10, which gives you 60, and then 6 times 4, which equals 24. When you add those two results together, 60 plus 24 equals 84. This method not only simplifies the math but deepens your understanding of how numbers interact. Finally, let's wrap up our exploration of multiplication tables by discussing its importance beyond just learning numbers. Being fluent with your times tables from 1 to 12 is incredibly beneficial. It will help you with division, fractions, algebra, and even real-life tasks like calculating prices or understanding measurements. For instance, what is 12 times 12? That's right, it equals 144. This is considered the master fact of the multiplication table because it represents the climax of your multiplication journey. Keep practicing these facts to solidify your understanding and build a strong base for future math skills. Today, we've covered a lot of ground in our journey through multiplication. We learned that multiplication is repeated addition, explored various properties like the commutative, identity, and zero properties, and discovered fun tricks and techniques like the finger trick for the 9 times table. We also looked at how arrays can help visualize multiplication, how rhymes can aid in memorization, and how the distributive property breaks down larger problems. Remember, practicing your times tables daily will not only improve your math skills but also boost your confidence. Thank you for joining me on this exciting adventure into the world of multiplication tables. Keep practicing with tools like Khan Academy or Math is Fun, where you can find resources to help you along the way. Remember to use flashcards, sing songs, and play games to make learning enjoyable. Until next time, keep exploring math and have fun with your multiplication adventures. Stay curious and keep learning.